to collect information about Egyptian-Americans. I know several people created their own databases. In this day and age, what do people do with databases when information like this changes so quickly? It's no longer, the burden is no longer on the organization to collect the data for people. The burden is on people to come to the organization through a Facebook site or through something to initially invite them and then entice them to stay. How are we going to keep this data? I mean, are we talking data for the entire Egyptian-American community in the United States? How are we going to keep it? How is it going to be shareable other than with one organization?
That's why we thought about this overarching umbrella group that can then mother all these smaller, organizations nationwide, so that it's going to be like one major coalition group underneath which there's going to be different subgroups working and being coordinated. As Mr. Shinawi was saying, like the standardized survey kind of thing. We're going to reach out to the different, subgroups working within the United States and see what everybody is doing and trying to link them all through this kind of web, spider web, if you will, a database of different organizations. So the whole point is about coordination, collecting information, accurate data, coordinating all of these efforts, helping to find some kind of structure that's going to work, and then use this kind of data to reach out to these groups so that it's not like everybody is singing their own song separately from the other, but rather we're all singing in one harmonious symphony, if you will.
Thanks, Madam Sahar, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for the organizers of the event. I think it's one of the most successful events I attended here in the US. Thank you very much for putting this together. I think it's really wonderful. Thank you.
Last but not least, the income, and I think Dr. Raid coordinated.
Dr. Saeed Saif al-Yazan will represent us.
Okay, so Dr. Saeed will represent it.
I think we had the very easy task of funding. It was only a moderator and 4. So we had all the time actually to discuss and agree on the options. And what I'm going to give you is basically, call it a menu of different options. And based on, again, the goal and structure, we can come back and choose 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 out of this menu. So the first option we discussed is basically membership. I mean, of course, we have to have some kind of membership. But under membership, we discussed different type of membership. The first one is, we call it individual. Under individual, again, we can have single membership, like someone like me, single membership, or family membership, or a student membership. Again, based on different discounts. So we're going to have a family, we discussed like if a husband and wife wants to join, they shouldn't pay 2 singles. Maybe we can give them a little bit of discount. For students, we're going to give them again a little bit of discount. So the first type is the individual. The second is corporate membership. And again, we discussed maybe we can have 2 types, small businesses or large businesses, or small corporation, large corporation. And again, we can base this on the size of the organization in terms of income or staff or, different kinds of criteria. And then the third type of membership is basically organizations, other Egyptian-American organizations. I don't know if we're going to open it to other organizations. Maybe you have like U.S. Arab Chamber of Commerce. They do some things in Egypt.
There is one already exists.
I know.
They're making less money.
What I'm saying, no, maybe you went to the U.S. Arab Relations Council. That's a different one. There was a meeting last week. John Duke Anthony. So anyway, there are other Arab organizations that they do a little bit of things in Egypt. Are we going to allow them to join us or not? Again, that's up to you to decide. The organizations part, we believe the way to set the dues for the organizations is basically based on the number of members on those organizations. Like if we have an organization of 100, we can say 100 times X, so we will have the dues paid by those organizations. Number 2 in our, again, menu is donations. And again, based on what type of structure we will decide, if it's 501c3, 501c4, we can have a tax deductible donations. We all pay taxes here. You can deduct from the income tax, dollar by dollar. You can deduct that from if again giving donation to 501c3 or C4 organization. We talked about, as the number 3 in the menu, fundraising events. Again, the sky is the limit here. We can be creative and come up with good ideas for events. And the last point here was actually, do we need to seek government funding, or we prefer to be totally independent? And when we talk about seeking government funding, we can do this from, again, US government or the Egyptian government. Again, it's up to you to decide whether you want to seek this kind of funding or not. Like, I'm sure you're familiar with the kind of funding we're talking about, but there are funding available for different kind of organizations. The most important thing here, again, is if we're talking about the budget, we need the budget to be very transparent. We know exactly where the money is coming from and how it is spent. The other thing that we discussed is, should we give some kind of benefits to our members? Like if we are all professionals, or some of us are professionals, we have doctors, we have all kinds of different things, the CPAs, we have travel agencies. We can, again, give some kind of discounts to the members of this organization, so people will find it is like worthwhile paying $100 or $200 a year, because at the end of the year I'm going to benefit again from this organization. And that's basically what we agreed to do. Easy. Thank you.
We'll see if we have comments on the finance or on the income. Sorry?
Thank you, Said. I want to ask you a question. What happens, I mean, do you have any idea what happens, for instance, Mohammed now is in ICA, is more social and cultural. Other group are political, other group are whatever, advocacy or charity. How does a budget, how can we handle, I mean, these are oranges and apples. Do you have a scenario for that?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Are you talking about how you're going to bring all of this organization again under one umbrella, or how?
No, the budget.
Well, the budget, it will depend again on the goal and the structure. Once we have a clear structure and a clear goal for the organization, if you're going to have an education and culture goals, that would be 501c3. If you're going to add lobbying, it's 501c4. If you don't want an organization at all and you just have some kind of membership like the boxes that we're doing here, that's another way of doing it. So it depends if we're going to register an organization or not. That's one. Two, again, everything will depend on the goal and structure.
Yani, for instance, the people who are the organizations which are really seeking business-oriented organizations.
You mean corporations or what? Or Chamber of Commerce?
Organizations, Egyptian organizations, which are really working to have business between US and Egypt. That's legitimate. I mean, they are trying to promote the business of Egyptian.
Yeah, there is none of them actually, but
you know, for them, maybe marketing and spending on advertisement and so on is so important. In other words, there are different goals of every organization which might reflect on a disparity of budget policies.
Again, we have not decided the budget or how we're going, what line items we're going to have under the budget, but definitely.